Also new this morning, video from within the bin Laden compound. It provides an eerie glimpse into the walled-off refuge where he lived and died. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh is in the city of Abbottabad. He's very near that compound. Can you describe the city for us, Nick?
Absolutely. I mean, this does not look like a city, frankly, which recently discovered the world's most wanted man was living inside it. When we arrived here this morning, very calm, life going on, frankly, as normal. Just behind me over these trees is the compound in question. I think it's also important to point out this is a massive military town. Just over there, we have 2 or 3 substantial military bases and academies, and that's really fueling some of these suggestions that Pakistan security establishment must have known something about bin Laden being here. But just simply looking at the house where he lived for so long, it is not that indiscreet. It has obviously big walls, significant security, but that's not particularly abnormal for wealthy Pakistanis living in this part of the world. So absolutely, Abbottabad at the moment, its place in history more or less assured as being the place where bin Laden was killed, but not as yet really reeling from that as such. Carol?
We have some video that we're showing our viewers right now from inside that house. We see blood on the floor. We're briefly in the kitchen where the sink is full of food. The pantries are supposedly full. Can you tell us what else besides those CDs and DVDs that American officials already confiscated? What else was inside that house?
Well, they're talking about a treasure trove. I mean, I'm seeing on these pictures on the floor, we're talking about the standard, frankly, the standard things of daily life, food, possessions, clothing, that sort of thing, strewn on the floor in the video that we had filmed by a third party in that particular compound. But I mean, these are all part of the clues which the United States will be combing through. They scooped up an awful lot in the 40 minutes they were there. There's an awful lot left behind. This video shot today suggesting perhaps that the Pakistanis have not as yet begun the forensic clean-up and sort of hoovering up of every possible detail that bin Laden left behind of his lifestyle. They're very much keeping the compound to themselves, though. Media kept at arm's length, allowed up to the gate recently, but not actually inside to see this, frankly, quite monumentous building.
How many people were inside that building? And the ones who did survive, where are they now?
Now, I don't know the total number inside that building. That remains unclear. What I do know is that a senior Pakistani intelligence source is saying there were 8 to 9 children now in their custody who were inside that house. Also saying there were 2 women inside that house, one of whom we believe from U.S. officials to have been bin Laden's wife, who was injured in the firefight. We're also talking about 4 to 5 men who were apparently there as well. That figure could be larger. Some reports suggesting there were as many as 22 people inside the compound when the U.S. launched their operation, Carol.
And the other thing I'm wondering about, those people in custody in Pakistan, what might, I mean, not the children, but what might happen to the adults they have in custody? Will they be charged with anything, do you suppose?
I have to tell you, I really don't know that. I mean, yes, under Pakistani due process, they would eventually face charges. I'm not quite sure what they could be charged with. Living in a house with bin Laden, I'm not sure if that's necessarily a crime in itself, unless you're accessory or assisting some act of terrorism or insurgency here. But no, I mean, I would imagine they will be held in custody for some period of time. They will be looking at what information they can provide the Pakistanis, or perhaps even the Americans if cooperation is functioning again. But certainly, yes, these 8 or 9 children in custody now. Exactly who they are or how they came to be in that compound, unclear. But Pakistani officials confirming 8 or 9 children in their custody, Carol.
Nick Payton-Walsh from Abbottabad, Pakistan. Thanks.